Good morning, everyone. How is everyone? I'm Belinda with Just Be Yoga, and this is our home yoga practice live. Come on in. Welcome. I think if you saw the intro that I had typed up, I'm really, I don't know, today it just felt like I woke up to spring, and I know it's not officially spring yet, but to have that warmth, be able to crack a window open is just enough to brighten the perspective. Come on in, let's have a seat, make your space comfortable for yourself, and we will begin our journey working on connecting, yoging at home. I'm Belinda with Just Be Yoga, and this is our home yoga practice live on Tuesday, March 9, 2021. Please feel free to say hello, type a comment, whether you're joining us from our YouTube channel or on our Facebook follow live. And if you're checking us in even on demand, feel free to leave a message. I'll answer you back. All right, let's start. Actually, today, I'm going to start sitting on a block, on a raised surface. You never have to cross your legs if that's not comfortable for you, all right? So you could be sitting in a chair. Crossing my legs is comfortable, but now that I'm on this raised surface, I'm really actually letting my hips have a little bit more space. Beginnings. That's where I was this morning in thinking about my mindset. And I usually just let that mindset help guide my practice. And so a mindset of beginnings is a wonderful place to arrive on our yoga mat, to arrive in a breath practice, to arrive in a meditation. And it's as simple as that, all right? Your yoga practice doesn't have to be splits, handstands, arm balances. It's about coming into a union with this body and connecting the mindset into the flesh and letting the flesh help reflect back that mindset of beginnings. So beginnings really kind of tells me to be respectful and treat everything as new and the first time. All right, I'm going to start with just a little quietude. So maybe make sure that you've got your ringers off on your cell phones. You could even mute me, and let's say for about 2 minutes of just some quietude. Don't even call it meditation, just a quiet space. So great. I'm kind of done with that quiet. I'm just going to move a little bit. Oh, quiet. That's all that we need sometimes as a way to connect and kind of feel like, who am I? What am I? As a fleshy being, as a thinking being, as a breath being, as a spirit being. All right, so beginnings. It's, springtime is a great time to feel like that emergence of newness. And how do we carry that then into our practice? So first, I always just go down to the root of it all, and in the sutras, the very first sutra is Hatha Yoga Nushasanam. I'm actually going to flash that up on the screen so that you guys aren't like, what is she saying? I think I'm going to do that. Yes, I am. There we go. Hatha Yoga Nushasanam. And it just means, and thus the journey of yoga is beginning. We're never done beginning. You know, every step that we take is a beginning, is a new opportunity to change a direction, to walk in a different way. Every breath is bringing, hopefully, a new opportunity to experience the moment differently. So beginning, that beginner's mind is a state of constant. We're never done beginning. I know sometimes we think about beginner's level as though it's remedial, as though it means that we have failed or we are insufficient in some way. But there's a joyous innocence that can come with beginning, a playfulness, a carefree, because we're not stuck to the way anything is supposed to be. So that's what I want to carry into my practice today, and remind myself that that I'm always beginning. I'm never done with anything. I'm certainly not an expert at anything. And every time that I get to start something new, I get to play with a new perspective, invite new learning and understanding, and I get to grow. Because if I'm not beginning, right, I don't grow. That's how a shoot of a seedling, every bit that it grows is a beginning, right? It's beginning to stretch. It's beginning to move. So that's all about growth. So I want to bring that into a breath practice now. Sorry, my cat Puma has decided that she wants to practice with me today, so she may come in and out of screen, and she's a very black cat. So let's sit any way that we like. Maybe lie down on our back. And actually, I think I will lie down. Maybe reflect for a moment on what beginnings mean to you right now. Feel your body beginning to let go and sink wherever it is that you are. I'm lying down, but maybe you stayed sitting upright. Let some of the calm that got generated in our quietude linger. Can we even embrace the concept of letting that calm begin to stay? Instead of looking at things as a constant, beginning to stay, beginning to remain. Start to observe your very next inhale and feel yourselves begin to breathe in. Oops. When you have stopped that breath, hold for a moment and maybe reflect. When did the inhale stop beginning? Now let's begin to exhale. And then let your exhale complete and hold. Inhale. And hold. Exhale. And hold. Let's continue in this manner, reflecting on beginning. What is still beginning as you're drawing in that breath? When is beginning transitioning into ending? Or when is ending beginning? Feel the holding What's constantly beginning in the hold and then exhaling? What are we getting to observe? What's new in our perspective as we practice beginning to breathe? What is new on a physical level? On an awareness level? Now find a normal, natural breath. Can you continue to keep that mindset of observing what's beginning in this breath? How has that practice helped something grow, something change within us? And let's start to draw the knees. If you're not lying down, maybe join us now lying down on our backs. Beginning our physical practice, our asana practice. Walking the feet in. And allow your mind to just start to scan everything you can feel on the bottoms of your feet, all the way up through the legs, through your hips, through your waist. Eventually arriving at the top of your head, but not be in a hurry about it. Begin to notice what you are feeling in your body. And observe your breath while you're here. What's familiar, what's new. And see if you can position your feet, say 4 inches or so apart, knees about 4 inches apart, arms resting down alongside your hips. Eyes open if you don't mind. And begin to just see with your eyes. Notice first off what you're noticing about eyesight. And maybe that feels silly. And then just ask yourself, come on back, return, and just see. What are you seeing? How are your eyes seeing? Are you seeing light spectrum, or are you identifying items? What's the backstory that your mind is chattering about? Can you begin to just see without any chatter or commentary? And feel your breath and feel your body. Now if you'd like to try, we'll push down through the feet and start to ask the hips to rise. Eyes still open. And feel the most solid parts of your body, the most fluid parts of your body. Feel the parts that are working or straining, doing the work to hold you up. Can you begin to notice the areas of the body that don't have to do anything? Breathing in, breathing out. Push a little bit more with the left leg and feel that. Push a little bit more with the right leg and feel that. Push evenly through both legs. Are we able to still notice our breath? Notice the beginnings of the inhale, the beginnings of the exhale. And slowly lower the hips down. Eyes were still open, noticing what we were We're able to see what are you feeling as your hips lower. And if you're comfortable doing so, close the eyes and we'll bring the bottoms of the feet together and let the knees fall open. And how are we seeing differently now? What are we beginning to notice and feel? Left side of your body, right side of your body. Begin to notice your mind. Sorry, my cat is trying to climb out the window. And my mind was greatly distracted. And that's great. Look for the distractions to help you begin to notice. How does the mind get distracted? Begin to notice bringing yourself back. I'm going to straighten my legs, feeling myself. Lift my leg, lengthen it. And I'm going to reach the arms overhead, stretching the body, and begin to observe space. What does space feel like inside of my flesh? What does the heaviness of my bones feel like? As I feel and observe the beginnings of breath. A new way of being in my body. Breath in. Exhale. I'm going to draw the knees into the chest, hands coming to the knees, maybe lifting the head up, and see if we can have a few breaths here. What's changed about our breath? What's limited or restrained about it? But we're still breathing nonetheless. What opportunity do we have to begin to be present, to feel, to begin to not be in control, and begin again. Breath in, breath out. New breath in this shape. New awareness of what we're able to do and feel. What are we growing in our mindset? And lower the head down. I'm going to release my arms and let the knees fall over to the left. Breathing in. Breathing out. What's beginning in your spine? Let go of what you want to achieve. And just sit and observe like granules of sand. What are we beginning to connect with? And just observe what's going on. Begin to feel the weight of your own flesh. Beginning to be aware of different levels of tension and joy. Let that scan across your body. Linger now on a space that just feels really good, open, relaxed, effortless. And we'll bring the legs up to center when you're ready. When did that motion begin? Were we able to notice it? And we'll come over to the other side. When did my legs arrive and begin to touch the earth? Begin to sink and let go? What level of letting go in this twist is beginning right now? How about now? How about now? Scan up and down your body. Scan up and down your breath. What is beginning? What's new? Beginning as growth. And we'll bring the knees back to center. Observe what is beginning, what had to clench, what had to give you stability to create the movement. Hands to the knees, forehead to the knees. And observe up and down your back, from the back of your neck to your tailbone as we're here. Notice also, are you really super tight and clenching? Ask yourself, do I need to be? Begin to change something for your comfort. Observe your breath. Begin to change something for your breath. And lowering the head down and reach the legs up to the ceiling. Rest the arms and then bend the knees into the chest. And we'll just start to do this back and forth. And notice, just like the breath, where is the beginning of the extension? And follow new beginnings as new extension is created until you feel the limit of that extension and feel the beginning of that limit. And then breathe as you're starting to bend the knees, lowering it down, feeling the beginning of the lowering. And let's just follow this back and forth. Maybe changing different paces, noticing how we can observe new ways of beginning in different range, different pace, the beginnings of faster. What areas of the body are we becoming more attuned to? What's becoming fatigued? How do you begin to start to show compassion and adjust for that fatigue? Breathe in. Breathe out. Observe the breath. Observe the body. Eyes may be open. And observe your visioning, your wisdom. Now stop when you need to stop. That can be the beginning of rest and ease for you. I'm going to lengthen the legs up. So legs up like this is called Viparita Karani. That's a pose. So we're just, I'm going to reach my arms overhead, feeling my chest, having some space. Eyes open. Observing my feet above me. New perspective. How relaxed can I be? Feeling the weight of me supported without me straining. Or maybe there is a strain. Maybe there's a part of the body that's saying this is a lot of work. And can we begin to practice being kinder to ourselves? What would that look like or feel like? Will you change something for that ease? All right, to the best of our ability, I'm going to see if we can come all the way up to sitting in one smooth movement, all the way up. I'm going to rest the arms, feeling the legs supporting me, spine upright. Eyes open or closed, and begin to make a choice about that. Maybe connect now, remembering what it is you wanted to practice about new beginnings. And I'm going to find a twist here. Good morning. I'm going to have to come up and see the screen a little closer to see who's there. One hand with support behind me. Maybe we're going to start to practice giving ourselves more support. That's a great way to begin, right? It's a new beginning of practice. I'm going to begin to ask for support, so I'm bringing the block behind me. One hand on the thigh, sitting up tall. Breath in. Exhale, twisting. And what I love about the spiral and the twist is that the action is continuous. So there's always a constant beginning, feeling the left and right side. Feeling an amount of pressure that is still being applied, so it's always beginning. You can apply a little bit more force or a little bit less. There's a backside that's receiving. There's an initiating part. Breathe in. Breathe out. Observe a new section of your body as you're here. It's a great way to bring in that perspective. And I'm going to gently release. And I'm going to find the other side. I'm going to take the block with me just for balance. Bring that hand here, one hand to the leg. Inhale. Exhale, twist. I'm going to let myself observe just beneath my belly button as a new area for my mind to just locate and focus and begin to observe aspects about it that I don't usually pay attention to. Wonderful way to bring new beginnings into our posture practice, into our breath practice, because once the breath is starting to touch that area, you get to notice, am I allowing it to happen? Am I trying to prevent it from happening? And release. Good, I'm going to shake my legs out. I'm going to get a little more playful about it. Play. Get a little silly about it. Like I said, just changing things up. It's a great way. New. Bringing in that new perspective. Feeling the body, accept it. Feel my connection to my physicalness. I'm going to bring some touch, some massage to my legs. Different areas of the legs. I don't often touch this inner thigh area. I'm going to come up and take that banner off the screen now. And I get to see, good morning, Elizabeth. Thank you for joining us. All right, I'm going to come back to sitting with legs out in front. I'm going to have my legs a little wider rather than together to start. And I'm going to lift my upper body and feel this lifting. And I'm going to see if I can lift from just beneath that belly button area. Again, a new area for me to just test. I know I can reach and lift through these arms. Boom. I can do that. New. Doing something in a different way. So I'm going to try to, could I lift from beneath my belly button? Am I connected to that area of my body? What happens when I try to ask those areas to lift, to stabilize and lift? What am I feeling differently? What happened to my breath? It can be as simple as that. I'm going to split and twist open, pulling one arm in one direction, other arm in the other direction, and still lift from beneath the belly button. Breathe in, breathing out. You can use that breath practice to just follow the newness and the beginnings of the inhale and the newness and the beginnings of the exhale as a way to give the mind something to focus on. Letting the breath do its practice, and we're still in the body at the same time. Can you find a balance of effort in all three of those places? Don't try to super achieve. I'm a big super achiever, so if you hear me talking about certain aspects, it's usually me calling myself out. And let's breathe in and lift and twist. Now, if those arms are starting to feel heavy or straining, go ahead and bring those arms down. Begin to express compassion and forgiveness in your actions in your body. Now, it doesn't mean that we don't still apply a level of, can I stick with it and observe what's going on, but we don't want to be creating harm. Do we know how to dance along that line? Breath in. Breath out. I'm going to release and come to center. Inhaling. Can we lift from that area? How about pick another area of your chest, of your back, and say, could I lift from there? Breath in. And I'm going to exhale and bring my upper body forward, letting it fall where it wants to fall. Breathe in. Breathe out. Let's practice beginning to accept what is going on here. Notice, are you jamming and forcing your body here? Let's all find a way to start to begin to practice acceptance. What can you let go of? What does acceptance mean and feel like in our minds, our breath, and our bodies? I'm going to bring the spine up. Good. All right, I'm going to walk my hands back. I'm going to stomp the feet, waking up these wonderful feet, stimulating all the circulation and the nerve endings. Hello, feet. My hands are behind me, my fingertips are facing my butt. If your wrists are sensitive, we're still going to honor these wrists. Maybe make a fist and rest on the knuckles of the fist if you would prefer, all right? You could also use a block and have your hands on the block for that support. But here's what I'm going to practice if you want to, is I'm going to just lift in this reverse tabletop. Now maybe the butt just stays this low. This is the beginning. Now let's feel the shoulder sockets. Do you want to sag in them or do you want to stand in them? Do we have that control in the shoulders? Breathe in. Breathe out. Feel every tremble. Feel every sensation that's going on in your body. Can you begin to notice your jaw and your tongue? How about your eyebrows? You can squint and you scrunch the eyeballs, close and open. Eyeballs, eyelids. And lower the hips down. Lengthen the legs. And now we're beginning to feel this space again. Feel the beginning of it. It's new. We just came out of a different shape. Exhale, twist. What's new? Notice a different body part. I'm going to try to lengthen through one of my fingers to give myself something new to explore, to begin to practice in that spot. Breathing in. Exhale, revolving, opening, breathing, pressing my legs down too. Give your mind something to stay on and then begin to explore there. Inhale, coming to center. Exhale, feeling that exhale. Is it still beginning to exhale? Are we beginning to feel new areas of that exhale? Coming back up. I'm going to find another reverse tabletop now. Remember, you could have a block behind you. Remember, you could rest on the knuckles of your fist. I'm going to wake up my feet again. I'm going to lift one leg first, just to do it differently. Feel, what are the muscles involved? Can you feel belly muscles, leg muscles? Are you learning something new about your physicality? And bring that foot down and lift. Learning something about what happens to breath. My breath got a little limited right there. I want to be my whole being with myself today and bring that foot down in this practice at least. And now, if you're up for it, we can lift. Breath. Maybe you're seeing how much, how high. Maybe there's an area of the body that's beginning to wake up and say, ooh, I like this. Or an area of the body that's going, are you kidding me? Breathe. Are you listening? Begin to learn the language of different areas of your body. And we'll bring those hips down. Good. I'm going to bring the bottoms of my feet together. Holding either the ankles, the shins. I'm going to thread my fingers underneath of my feet because I can. And that actually created a little bit of a pull tension on this shoulder. And some of you may know that I have a very old injury in this right shoulder. And so it's really talking this morning. So I'm really going to listen and respect. So it's beginning to talk to me. And I am beginning to go, oh, check, gotcha. I'm listening. I'm not going to take it too far. I'm going to press the inner thighs. And press the inner thighs. And maybe you look like this here. Pressing. All right? So we're all in a different space. We've all got a different thing going on in our hips. And what are you noticing? And you might need to scan and just say, what am I feeling in my ankles? Because I can feel my ankle bones rolling. So that's a nice little point of observation to begin and begin again. Or the skin on the thighs and the lower legs. Like, how is it? When does it touch the floor? What are those beginnings? Maybe up in the tendons and the muscles in the groin and the inner thigh. What's beginning to press a little more firm? What feels free and lubricated? Good. I'm going to breathe in and lift the chest. And coming forward. And rolling it up. What's beginning to lengthen? Follow the sensations up your spine on both sides of your spinal column. Feeling the length of that big long muscle on both sides. And some might refer to those muscles as the back strap. If you're more into the human anatomy, the erector spinae. Because we're not breaking ourselves down like a tenderloin. I haven't had breakfast yet, so clearly I've got food on my mind. Rolling the spine up. Can you notice the transition between the stop of coming up and the stop of going down? And play with what's beginning so that the stop is imperceptible, so that what's ending is actually beginning and what's beginning is actually ending. Can we take our breath with it? I'm just going to observe the fingers in my hands and let them be limp. And I really chose that because I noticed that my hands were clenching around my feet. So choose something. And let's be with it now. Notice your mind. Can it stay right here? Can this movement start to lull you like a lullaby? Starting to soothe the mind so that it isn't feeling that pressure to be doing and calculating, planning and preparing. Begin to take your awareness of breath with you. Awareness of the areas of the body that are starting to really enjoy this movement, or the stretching, the opening, the rocking. What are the areas that are starting to fatigue? Do we know? I'm bringing myself up. If you're new to practicing with me, you know that you'll start to notice that I really encourage to keep intentional, tender touch as a part of your practice. Waking up the awareness of these nerve endings, this skin as an organ, touching it deliberately, massaging it deliberately, especially parts of the body that maybe we don't usually touch, right? The armpits, maybe we only touch this area when we're bathing. So I like to bring that touch aspect into practice. Alrighty, I'm going to come to hands and knees if you're still joining with us. Good. Now before we go anywhere, what did you notice? What could you retell about the journey it took to come to hands and knees? Do you know you shifted to the left first and you placed your left hand down and you felt this amount of pressure on a finger? So what do I mean by that? When I came here, I leaned that weight and I could feel this shoulder, that muscle in my core, this butt cheek, this foot move. The beginnings of practicing the awareness of the traveling in the journey. So if you want to try that, let's try that again. It's a great way to bring the mind into it and kind of practice it as a mindfulness or an awareness exercise. Beginning to be present with where I am in the moment, even as I'm moving. All right, so we'll choose. Okay, how am I going to get to hands and knees? This is moving first. What am I feeling in my hands, my fingers? Feeling, no. Sorry, my dog wants to bark. Karma, Karma, come here. Come here. Sorry about this, guys. Karma, come. There's nothing that is a hazard. Thank you. All right, I'm feeling this hand touch the floor. Okay, and now I've shifted onto that butt cheek. Feeling that foot come down. And now, in order, I guess I could bring this hand here. I'm going to feel this here. Okay, now both arms have to be stable. I'm feeling my core, feeling that foot that's on the floor. And then I feel that knee come to the earth. Beginning, and then I bring that knee down. All of the beginnings of moving and being present. Eyes open. I kind of held my breath a little bit except for talking to you guys. So I got to be aware of that. It isn't about criticizing. It's just what could I be aware of. All right, we're going to do a few cat and cows. Feeling the belly area and the chest area. And I'm just going to practice noticing what is beginning to make the movement happen at any point in time. Is it the pushing down through my hands? Beginning to feel the areas of my neck and when they follow through. Beginning to notice when my breath wants to stop, because clearly that's happening quite a bit in my practice today. I am starting to begin to notice pressure in the heels of my palms and my wrists, and I don't like it. So I'm going to start to press a little bit more in the fingers. Actually, my wrists are saying that's not enough already. So I'm going to make a fist. And that's feeling a lot better. Breathing in, breathing out. Involving the chest cavity, beginning to let it be exposed. Letting parts of me be seen. Parts of me moving and feeling it move that maybe I like to hide usually. Good. Same thing about noticing how we get there. We're going to come up to standing. But so notice how you bring a foot up, a leg, a thigh. Notice areas of the spine. Notice if you need support. I'm going to bring that block out in front of me. I had to shift weight into the right foot because I've got to stand on it to start to straighten the back leg and then bring the weight into the right leg to bring my left foot up. I'm going to spread my toes and be fully present in my feet. Shifting weight forward into the toes and the heels. Noticing sections of the middle of the foot, how it bears the support. Sections on the front of the foot. I've been lifting my heels a little here, lifting the toes. Begin to notice what's going on in the muscles in the backs of the calves, front of the shins and ankles. I'm going to grab opposite elbows and let my upper body hang. Bend those knees as much as you like. And begin to let the upper body go. Where is it beginning actually? Where does the letting go action start? Do you know? Is it happening in your low back? Is that where the letting go is beginning? Is it happening toward your head at the back of your neck? Where is the letting go commencing? Stay in your breath. Is it in the back of a hamstring? Is it a bunch of aspects that are beginning and beginning and beginning and beginning again? What's new that we're allowing into our existence, physically, breath-wise, mentally? I'm going to release my arms now, keeping the knees soft, gradually, patiently rounding the spine up and beginning to observe all of the sensations up and down my back. Rolling my way upright, eyes open, feeling that perspective of the head coming above my heart. That awareness rising. First time standing. Maybe do that a few times, breathing in the nose, out the mouth. It can be this simple and this deep. Yeah? Alrighty, I'm going to do a little bit of movement that'll feel a little bit more active, alright, if you're wishing to. Please honor what's going on in your body. If it's going too fast, it's hard for us to remain super duper aware. And what happens then, as far as I've been coining for quite a few years, is that we start to practice drive-by yoga. And that isn't the purpose of yoga. Yoga is to remain connected and integrated. So it's all right when you notice, because drive-by is the way that we live. But when you notice that you're driving by, you might need to slow down. All right, I'm going to breathe in and lift up. Take the gaze up. Did the breath stop, or is it beginning to exhale, letting the body and the breath move together? And when is that exhale complete and the forward fold complete? And then breathing in and lifting the upper body halfway. Your hands could be on the shins or your knees. Exhaling, letting the upper body go. Feeling that continue and begin. Rolling the spine up. Lifting the head last. Can you feel what's new and beginning in between the shoulder blades on that journey? Breathing in, feeling all of the different levels of rising through the arms. Exhaling, forward folding, feeling the releasing and the letting go progress and progress. Breathing in and coming up halfway. Exhaling, letting it go. One more, rolling it up if you wish. Maybe you're already noticing you need to slow down. And then when are we lifting through the arms? Could the chest lift the arms, not just the shoulder socket? And forward fold, beginning to open ourselves to new possibility. And then breathing in, coming up halfway again. Exhaling, bringing the hands down, coming to hands and knees. Feel that journey. Did you feel the leg lift, stepping back, lengthening? Coming to hands and knees, plank and lowering. Begin to notice getting closer to the earth. I can feel that because I'm talking and I can feel sound bouncing back from the floor. Breathing in, keeping the elbows bent. What's beginning in the spine? I'm going to lower that down again. And do this again. Notice did I rush? Was I trying too hard? Breathe in, pushing down through the hands. Allowing the movement to come through the spine. What wants to stop, and am I respecting it? Exhaling, lowering it down, soften, soften. Can you let go? Begin to test that, to play with it. Breathing in, lifting, eyes open if they closed. Maybe smile on purpose. Exhaling, coming to hands and knees, sinking it back to child's pose if your knees will accept that weight. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathing in, shifting forward. Can you feel the weight gradually coming into the arms? Feeling the legs let go of some of that work, tucking the toes and starting to push the butt up. Dropping the head down for down dog. Those knees could stay bent. Begin to notice your breath. Take that with you. Notice all of the body, your arms and your legs, your support pillars. And then feel the middle of you. Can it start to lift and help you? Or are the arms and the legs saying they can't support you much longer? Listen. And we'll bring one knee down. Feel that journey. Stepping the other foot up, feeling when the beginning of the stepping ended. Stepping the other leg up, rolling the spine up. Hands behind the back or hold a strap. So if you can't bring your hands together, maybe hold a strap, opening the heart, lifting, breathe. Exhale, coming forward. Feel the shoulders, feel your legs, ankles, toes, neck. Roll the spine up. Notice, can the back of the neck and shoulder blade be softer? What can you do to adjust that? Hips forward, offer the heart, take the gaze with you maybe. Exhaling, coming forward. Do you need to loosen your fingers? How about your toes? Rolling the spine up. You've got all day. Could you go slower? Begin to practice things differently. And then hips forward, lifting. Good. I'm going to let the strap go and come forward. What's changed here? What has begun to be new? Maybe the body is hanging a little deeper. Maybe it's more open to this, more relaxed in it. What's new? And that new space, that's a beginning. It's a wonderful beginning. I'm going to roll my spine up, coming up to standing. Oh, so now maybe the back and the arms and the chest and the belly feel like they've gotten some attention. I'm not going to say a workout. I'm going to say some attention. Maybe we notice something about sections of our spine that are resistant, tighter, but resistant. And start to begin to reflect on what that resistance is. So we're going to practice mountain. Your feet could be together or apart. And let's just use this as a nice pause, like we did in the beginning of practice, and we sat and just had some silence. Let's do that standing. Your feet could be apart. Your knees could be a little soft if you prefer. Eyes can be open or closed. Observe your breath. Observe your body holding you upright. Observe the two of them working together, breath and body. Wonderful. All right, let's step it out a little bit wider if you don't mind. So feel out your thighs, your hips, all right? Don't look at a camera, hopefully, and go, oh, that person is doing it that way, so I must. Nope, it's not like that at all. You work out what's working in your body. Less is more is a great way for all beginnings. Less is more. You can always add more, right? But once we've gone past our max, right, and done the damage, we don't get to erase. We don't get to hit the Etch-a-Sketch and take it back, right? No backsies. So moderation. Less is more. All right, now I'm going to turn my heels to start to face one another a little. You might want a chair in front of you. You might want to kind of get a wall maybe near you to help you have something for a little added support. Begin to notice, when am I unstable and what do I do about it? Is my natural habit to suck it up, buttercup, and fall? Is my natural habit to flail? Is my natural habit to force something and feel the pain that's really excruciating? Or am I beginning to learn how to make a different habit that gives me support, asking for help? Whew. I'm still learning. Thank goodness I get each new day an opportunity to begin to practice learning how to ask for help. All right, so I get to feel that in my practice, in my body. So here we are in a bit of a Buddha squat. I'm just going to bend a little. Choose stability. Feel your feet, your ankles, your toes. Thank them. But can the feet, are they relaxed enough to support us? What is the state of our foundation? Is our foundation gripping? Right? Is that how we start to do things? Do we just say, I'm just going to pinch my nose and get through it? And is that what your body is starting to tell you, how you're behaving, how you're treating it? I'm going to stand and bend. Or are the feet chilling out and the knees and the thighs and the calves? What are they saying? Feel it. Begin to ask. I love to just wiggle my toes while I'm in it as a way to feel different muscle sets working. And then slowly straighten. So do whatever you want with your hands. You can be sassy about it. And we're just going to start to come down and up and let your awareness travel through. What's going on in your left leg and your right leg? Maybe do this a few times and just focus on one leg. Different areas of that leg, different muscles, different sections all around it. Maybe you practice a little bit of loving touch as you go, and how does that change this whole experience? Right? Does that shift an area of intensity because we've given ourselves something a little more tender, hopefully tender, right? Tickly. Change the sensation. Be with it. Oh. Now I'm going to hold at a spot for me that I'm feeling like is a deep space, but it's sustainable. Where now I've got to feel these muscles hold everything together. Because actually, these don't have to do much. It's all right in here. And now that area is starting to say, excuse me. And I'm beginning, hopefully, to have a more loving conversation with that area. I'm going to squeeze this right hip, squeeze this left hip. Now squeeze them both. Come out when you need. And then notice the breath. Begin to feel working, beginning. And begin to feel releasing. And one more if you want. Maybe that's more than enough for you. Maybe you're like, okay, yeah, I think I'm set. Begin. And begin. Begin to let go. I don't know if you can see, I'm kind of sinking. Beginning to let go, beginning to let go. Oh, beginning to let go. And now everything's like, okay, basta. Breathe. And I'm going to spin on this right heel and keep the left toes forward. Trying not to lock the joints backward. And begin to explore length. Length. Can I feel the length here? Or am I only feeling it here? Begin to take the breath with me. Begin to feel the root. Begin to practice the root. And coming back up. I'm just going to switch gently. Taking my time. Finding my stability as I go. And begin. And begin. Whoa, begin. And bringing it back. All right, I'm going to come down to the floor to sitting. And just like we did when we came to hands and knees, maybe just practice. Beginning to notice how I got there. I had to shift my weight into this leg to bring them closer together. Feeling myself, bending my knees and coming to my toes. You're all choosing a different way to come down to sitting. I'm looking at the time and realizing I've exhausted most of the time that's been allotted for this now. Certainly, please keep practicing now if you need, right? If there's a different space that you need, maybe as a spiral or a twist of some sort. Maybe you'd need to swing legs up the wall. Perhaps you're wishing for an inversion, like a shoulder stand or a heart opener or a chest opener. The intention that I've always had for home yoga practice is to offer tidbits of tools and teachings to help folks find a way to practice at home. And I feel as though if you know what it is that is your intention, what it is you're wishing to be practicing, to keep that front of mind and do that in breath, do pieces of that in movement, do pieces of that in mind. And it doesn't have to be some big chunk of an hour of time. It could be 15 minutes. It could be broken up. 10 minutes here, and on your lunch break, 15 or 20 minutes there. Maybe it's 5 minutes before going to bed, because we're starting to begin to practice keeping the desire to yoke, to the desire to be in yoga, in integration, more often. And then we begin again. And before you know it, you're beginning a little more frequently. That's all. Find a way of sitting that's comfortable with you. And we'll have a little quietude before we close. Eyes open or closed. And you choose whether you want to bring your awareness in a body scan, your awareness in a breath practice of that following the breath, inhaling and exhaling. Or some of you may wish to start observing what your mind is doing. Is it lingering on the last thing you heard? Is it trying to remember something? Is it planning something? What are the mental acrobatics going on in your head right now? If you wish to join to close, we'll do the Jnana Mudra, and that's index finger, keep it in front of the black, index finger and thumb connecting, like so, representing the unbroken circle, that all is constantly beginning, and all is always connected. Our individual spirit is always connected to a universal spirit. We only think that we're separate from whatever our higher power is. So, representing the unbroken circle. Single breath in if you wish to join for an Om, representing the never-ending sound. Our Om merely stepped into the continuum of a slipstream of sound that is said to be ongoing and eternal. So we got to just kind of step into it for a moment. All that is love and light in me recognizes all that is love and light in you and is deeply grateful for your presence, for your sharing of your practice, and for your willingness to begin and begin again. I'm Belinda with Just Be Yoga, and this has been our home yoga practice on Tuesday, March 9. Beginnings, celebrating of the emergence of spring and finding ways to begin. Each day is going to be different, but along more or less this theme this week. Take whatever you can from this practice if it benefits you. If you'd like, please share our videos, our blog posts, our website, our Facebook page. And if it's in your heart or your pocket, donations are gratefully accepted at paypal.me/justbeyoga. Peace, everyone. Have a wonderful day. Go forth and do great things. I will linger for a moment in case anyone has any questions or just wants a little bit of community fellowship time. Oh, hey, Roxy! Great to see you. Hi, Elizabeth. Two Elizabeths here, so that's all. We've got an Elizabeth convention congregation. So yeah, I'll stick around for a minute in case anybody wants to chat or has any questions about practice. Some could say that this was fairly light today, but our practice doesn't have to be an intensity. Let's also remember that this is to integrate with ourselves. It is not a fitness class. There are certainly more vigorous practices, and maybe you need that on some days, and maybe you don't. You can still carry the beginner's mind attitude into your vigorous practices. It really takes a sharp mind that's able to be mindful and respectful and moderate even in intensity. Whoo, right? So that usually means we might need to slow down before we step into the hot and heavy, because being moderate in our intensity is hard. I don't know about you. You know, that's some like super duper leveled up stuff. Leveled up in your leveling down. Boom. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. I appreciate each and every one of you, whether you're here live or on demand. Peace, everyone. Be well.